Welcome. Please rise in body or spirit and join in singing hymn number 1018, Come and Go With Me. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Klaus Obermeit, chair of our worship committee. We are in charge of the service when our settled minister, the Reverend Jay Wolin, is not in the pulpit. We invite guest speakers to fill in and work with them to craft the Sunday service. Today, we welcome Reverend Beth Miller. She served as sole or senior minister for 3 congregations over 16 years. She also worked at the Unitarian Universalist Association, directing the Department of Ministry and Professional Leadership. As she moved into retirement, she filled several short-term ministries, including a part-time ministry here at this congregation, before fully retiring as a lay member of this congregation. She now enjoys singing in the choir, helping out with occasional events and activities, and preaching when invited. We also want to welcome our visitors both on campus and over live stream. We invite our visitors to participate in any of our events. We welcome visitors to find out more about us and Unitarian Universalism via a link at uusrq.org, which allows you to sign up for our weekly newsletter and Zoom links to our virtual events. For those of you here in person, there's a sign-up sheet for visitors at the welcome table. We hope you will join us for coffee and conversations after this service. We look forward to getting to know each other. Let me draw your attention to the insert in your order of service. It even says, take me home and put me on your fridge. Okay? There are a couple of things to draw your attention to. Next Saturday, December 6th, we invite you to join us for 2 different programs. The first is our Discovering UU. So Discover You in the morning from 9:30 to noon, where you can learn more about our faith and our congregation, including a light lunch. Please RSVP today outside the doors at the welcome table. We need 5 people to RSVP for us to be able to hold the program. Also next Saturday, we invite you to join us for a tree trimming party and potluck. That's at 4:30 p.m. here in the sanctuary and the lecture wing. Please bring a dish to share. Our congregation supports many organizations throughout the year, and those groups need our help more than ever during the holiday season. This year, our primary toy and gift collection is for Dreamers Academy, a Title I school in Sarasota serving low-income families. Please drop off unwrapped gifts or checks at the table in the courtyard today and for the next 2 Sundays, or throughout the week at the office, which is open Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we're pleased to welcome back to our stage C.Y. Hong, violinist of the Sarasota Orchestra. Consider the words of Reverend Leslie Takahashi. Here, in this place of peace, may we find hope. Here, in this place of connection, may we find life-giving community. Here, in this place of rest, let the unrest of our hearts turn us toward justice. Here, in the space made sacred by memories of connection, let us feel ourselves part of the new that grows from the old in the spiraling unity of years. As we light the chalice, please join me now in affirming our value of pluralism, which is printed in your order of service and displayed on the screen behind me. We celebrate that we are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. We covenant to learn from one another in our free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We embrace our differences and
morning, everyone. Today's story is Finding a Holiday Stillness by Catherine Bonner. 'Twas the night before Thanksgiving, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even your spouse. Not just saying. Anyway. For tomorrow was the Macy's parade, the arrival of Santa on his sleigh. For the dog show with winners and football games too, and a feast of a dinner with so much to chew. But after it all was said and done, it's as if a bell had rung, the holiday race had begun. A mother of young ones races through the mall, sit on Santa's lap, ride the train, see the lights. Hear the choir sing, we must do it all. Decorate the tree and the house and the yard, don't go slow. Send out cards, buy the gifts for everyone you know. Attend the parties at work and the children's school play. The holidays must be perfect in every way. For this mom grew up where abundance was a dream, where her mom and dad worked long hours and were gone mostly, it seemed. And her children would not know this lack. But this rush was exhausting, and she started looking back to her family's Christmas tradition of celebrating the Advent season and moments shared of stillness. A daily treat and message of affirmation tucked in her calendar. Lighting candles on the wreath and awaiting the birth of a child that will bring hope and peace and reason. And as she returned to the noise and her youngest one crying, she kept thinking, why? And her youngest said, bye. My friends have this toy and I want one too. All these cool gadgets and things I should do, I see them on TV and the computer live stream. Mom, what's the matter with you? And he screams out his frustration. A grandma walks by and looks at the mom and the boy and wonders why. Could it be that this child, like herself, feels a bit stressed with all the rushing from here and there, with no downtime to just share moments of stillness? Like listening to softly playing Christmas carols as you sit by a fire, or sipping hot cocoa with a marshmallow spire. But the child screams on and the mother seems more harried. A dad walks by with several small gifts that he carried. He aimed for the exit to get out of the crush and stepped in a puddle that could have been snow slush. And the coldness now of his very wet feet reminded him of the warmth he felt making latkes with his babushka for their Hanukkah feast. Times of stillness to remember the feats of old and the miracle of light that had been retold. With her screaming child in tow, the mom reaches for her ringing phone. It's a friend she hasn't seen in a while. Should she answer or let it go to voicemail? She answers and tries to put a smile in her voice, but her friend can hear all the noise. Hey, her friend says, you seem kind of strained. Are you okay? The mom tells about her day and how none of this feels quite right. So her friend invites her to the solstice night at the local UU, a celebration of stillness, to embrace the darkness and welcome the light, to let go of the old and welcome the new, where the world finds balance. And maybe the mom and her children might find some too in moments of stillness. Thank you.
As we light today's Advent wreath, consider these words from Lynn Cox, adapted for today's ritual. Unitarian Universalism is a faith with roots in Christianity. Some of us identify as Christians, others do not. Yet during the season of Advent, we all have something we can find illuminating, comforting, challenging, or fulfilling by reinterpreting old traditions. The Advent tradition is to light one additional candle each Sunday to signify the season of waiting for the celebration of Christ's birth. The candles represent hope, peace, joy, and love. The central white candle represents Christ, to be lit at Christmas Eve.
At the beginning of this season of waiting, let us remember to be fully present in the moment with each other, with ourselves, and with the source of blessing as we understand it to be.
On this first Sunday of Advent, we light the candle for hope.
And if there's any children, I'm not seeing any, not surprising, I invite you to join me in the West Wing so we have Creativity Day. Thank you.
Good morning. It is a joy to be with you this morning and see why. Thank you so much for being here today. I just love your music. Thank you. We usually don't have a hymn before the time for centering, but today's hymn, Find a Stillness, is what inspired today's sermon. So I wanted us to sing it before we do the time of centering. So please join me in singing Find a Stillness. It will be displayed on the screen.
In the
us settle into this stillness. Not a stillness of perfection or peace achieved once and for all, but the kind of stillness that lives inside moments of change. The quiet center that remains even when the world around us is chaotic. And hear these words from the theologian Howard Thurman. He writes, "How good it is to center down, to sit quietly and see oneself passing by. The streets of our minds seethe with endless traffic. Our spirits resound with clashings, with noisy silences, while something deep within hungers and thirsts for the still moment and the resting lull. With full intensity we seek ere the quiet passes a fresh sense of order to our living. A direction, a strong, sure purpose that will structure our confusion and bring meaning to our chaos. We look at ourselves in this waiting moment, the kind of people we are. In the silence, may the traffic in our minds be still, and may we find ourselves to be the kinds of people we intend to be." Please join me for silence. Reading this morning is "Life is Always Unfinished Business" by the Reverend Richard Gilbert. In the midst of the whirling day, in the hectic rush to be doing, in the frantic pace of life, pause here for a moment. Catch your breath, relax your body, loosen your grip on life. Consider that our lives are always unfinished business. Imagine that the picture of our being is never complete. Allow your life to be a work in progress. Do not hurry to mold the masterpiece. Do not rush to finish the picture. Do not be impatient to complete the drawing. From beckoning birth to dawning death, we are in process, and always there is more to be done. Do not let the incompleteness weigh on your spirit. Do not despair that imperfection marks your every day. Do not fear that we are still in the making. Let us instead be grateful that the world is still to be created. Let us give thanks that we can be more than we are. let us celebrate the power of the incomplete, for life is always unfinished business. Here we are. Thanksgiving is over and the holiday season is upon us. I don't feel quite ready. Do you? I always feel like there should be at least another week before Thanksgiving and the beginning of the holiday season. But here it comes, ready or not. It shouldn't feel so abrupt anymore. Now we have Christmas decorations in the stores and carols on the radio as early as Halloween. And December isn't just about Christmas. Many religions have special holidays in December as well. Celebrating our blessings, honoring the past, looking to the future, praying for the return of light, and hoping for better days to come seems to be a universal human inclination. We embrace and celebrate pluralism as one of the values of our Unitarian Universalist faith. If we're serious about that, let's acknowledge some of the other holiday celebrations by some of our friends and neighbors here and abroad, anyplace else, in December. Now, if you, members of your extended family or close friends observe one of these holidays I'm about to describe to you, please stand or just raise your hand if you are willing when I mention that holiday. We've already talked about Advent, and thank you to Klaus and Catherine for creating this beautiful Advent wreath and sharing that ritual with us. How many of us actually celebrate Christmas? Most of us, yeah. The next one there is Bodhi Day. Bodhi Day is observed annually on December 8th, which happens to be the birthday of my son. But be that as it may, it commemorates the enlightenment of Siddhartha Gautama, known as the historical Buddha, and marks the moment when, meditating under a Bodhi tree, he realized the root of suffering and the path to liberation. Celebrations may include extended meditation sessions, chanting Buddhist sutras, studying the Dharma, or performing acts of kindness. Do we have any who celebrate Bodhi Day? Somebody in the back, yes, thank you. Hanukkah, of course, this year is in December. It's the 14th to the 21st. Anybody that celebrates Hanukkah? Some of you? Quite a few of you, yes. Most of us are familiar with Hanukkah, and many UUs of Jewish background celebrate this festival of lights. It commemorates the victory of the Maccabees' rebellion against the oppressive Seleucid Empire that took place in about 167 before the Common Era. The lighting of the menorah candles each evening reenacts the miracle of sacred oil, just enough for one night, but lasting 8 nights, long enough to restore the desecrated temple for the worship of God. Families share special foods cooked in oil to commemorate the lighting of the oil, and exchange small gifts each night as they light the next candle. Hanukkah also celebrates the miraculous power of people dedicated to their beliefs and to justice in the face of overwhelming oppression. Los Posadas is December 16th through 24th. Anybody celebrate or have family who celebrate Los Posadas? Somebody in the back, yes. Los Posadas is a Latin American holiday commemorating the journey of Mary and Joseph to Bethlehem, with each night reenacting their search for lodging. Communities participate in processions with singing and in gatherings to celebrate the Christmas season, ending at a home that welcomes the group for prayer, song, food, and sometimes a piñata. This celebration must be especially poignant right now here in America, with Latin Americans being targeted and so cruelly attacked, abducted, torn from their families, and expelled. Let's hold them in our hearts this year. Yule is December 21st through January 1st. I know a lot of you celebrate the Yule. Yule is a pagan holiday in honor of the winter solstice, which falls on December 21st, the shortest day of the year. Yule is a time of giving thanks for the return of the light, hope, and promise. Some present some present-day Christmas customs and traditions, including the Yule log and the Yule candles, no, not the candles, are celebrated traditions here. We have an annual solstice celebration, and this year it is on December 21st at 5:30 here at our church. Kwanzaa, December 26th through January 1st. Anybody celebrate Kwanzaa? Some of you do, yes. Kwanzaa is celebrated by many Americans of African descent. There is a candle lighting ceremony that reinforces the meaning of 7 Kwanzaa principles, which are unity, self-determination, collective work and responsibility, cooperative economics, purpose, creativity, and faith. Kwanzaa is a time to reflect on these basic principles and recommit to the collective achievement of a better life for one's family, community, and people. We'll probably hear more about Kwanzaa at the service on December 28th. Whether or not you celebrate any of these sacred dates, may you find some joy, hope, peace, and inspiration from the messages they all carry. Every culture seeks these things. Human beings believe in them even when they seem unbelievable, which they sometimes really do. But they are all basically about gratitude for what we have and hope for a better world in the future. The reading of a few minutes ago from Richard Gilbert was from a book published in 2012. In it, he acknowledges, quote, whirling days, hectic rush to be doing, and the frantic pace of life. He was not just talking about the demands of the holiday season. The political situation in 2012 was almost as bad and hectic as it is now. It was a deeply polarized time. President Obama had been reelected, but Congress was divided with the Republicans controlling the House and Democrats holding the Senate, and there was gridlock. Granted, the unimaginable cruelty and lawlessness of that period was nothing like the current administration, but it was neither a stable nor a productive time in our country, and there was much strife then as now. Gilbert reminds us that life, our individual lives, but also life in general, is always unfinished business, and he encourages us to be patient. He says we must not let this chaos weigh us down. Instead, be grateful that the world is still to be created, and give thanks that we can be more than we are. As we contemplate the unrest, chaos, and cruelty of our country, what could be more needed than a reminder of our capacity for hope and our potential to bring peace, healing, and possibility into our own lives and into the communities we each share with others. So how do we cultivate that hope? Much of it is about actions we can take in the world, but for right now, in these upcoming days of celebration, with the promise of future political unrest, we can also cultivate hope by seeking stillness, calm, and groundedness in this time that is anything but. I'll have more to say about this in reflection too, but to begin, I want to share an inspiring article by Dana Milbank on October 24th this year in the Washington Post. It's about a 6-year research project that found a surprisingly simple route to happiness in doing. Perhaps some of you read it. Milbank starts with this question: how can we stay happy in an age gone mad? Good question. And he continues, it often feels as though all is unstable at the moment. Uncertainty dominates the economy. Our politics and planet are a mess. Scientific experts and government workers have been cast aside. Many more fear their jobs could be wiped out by artificial intelligence. Little surprise then that historic levels of Americans report being depressed, anxious, and lonely. Few say they are very satisfied with their lives, fewer than at any point since Gallup began asking the question a quarter century ago. Milback then tells us about a 6-year research project showing that having a purpose and taking concrete action to serve that purpose is a significant key to one's sense of groundedness and overall well-being. The subjects of this study were Gen Z high school and college students, randomly assigned to 2 groups. One group received $400 no-strings contributions to use to pursue what matters most to them, something that benefits their community, family, or even themselves. Both those students who received the $400 and those who did not had scored about the same on psychological measures on the pre-testing. 8 weeks later, those who received the contributions scored significantly higher than the non-recipients on all measures: latent well-being, sense of purpose, sense of belonging, sense of feeling needed and useful, and affective balance. The article points to other research and discusses purpose. I highly recommend it. Look it up if you haven't seen it. Meanwhile, if part of your purpose is helping this congregation serve its purpose, yeah, you knew it was coming, your purpose will be rewarded with a positive emotional state by giving as generously as you are able. For those online and those here on your cell phones, there is a link to donate in the description on the YouTube video or the QR code in your order of service. Let this sacred time begin. Truly beautiful, thank you. I know there are a lot of visitors today, and I saw some puzzled looks when I was calling for the offertory, and everybody laughed. The joke is that our pastor, our minister, Jay Wolin, always finds a clever way to work the call for the offering into Reflection 1, and it's relevant to the sermon at the same time. So that was what that was about for those of you who are visiting. Our reading now is The Advent by Reverend Francis Manley, adapted somewhat. This is the time of waiting. This is the time of darkness. This is the time of coming to birth. This is the time of turning inward. This is the time of longing. This is the time of preparing. This is the time of waiting. What do you long for, O my soul? What do you long for? Nothing the eye can see, nothing the hands can touch, nothing the ears can hear. What do you long for, O my soul? I will find you, O my soul, I will find you when the time is ripe, when you have given yourself to the dark, to the silence, to the waiting. This is the time of waiting. This is the time of darkness. This is the time of coming to birth. As we enter this season of holidays, the world around, in this time of national and international unrest, what does your soul long for? And what becomes of that longing as the days and weeks and months ahead unfold? I've mentioned the climate concerns and the political challenges unfolding around us. They seem to accumulate one on top of another, weighing our spirits down, heavy like wet snow. We entered December this year knowing that the planet is warming faster than predicted, that droughts are more severe, wildflowers more destructive, and storms stronger, although we were lucky this year to get through the whole hurricane season with none, right? Yay. We know that here in Florida, sea levels continue to rise, tides creep further inland, and insurance rates climb out of reach for many, making some have to actually leave their homes. Sadly, our current national approach to climate issues is not moving in a direction that reassures very many of us. Instead, regulations are weakening, federal commitments shrinking, and the work of preparing communities, our communities, for what lies ahead is too often left undone. Layer on top of this is a political climate that is volatile and uncertain. Regardless of our political persuasion, the daily churn of conflict, fear, and instability affects all of us. Many are worried about the erosion of democratic norms. Others are focused on the impact of new federal policies affecting marginalized communities. We are watching court decisions reshape human rights. We are seeing national conversations swirl with anger, propaganda, and exhaustion. And we look ahead to congressional midterm elections that will determine whether the next 2 years deepens the instability or provides some counterweight to it. For many Americans, especially those who do not identify with the current administration's ideology, these stakes are extraordinarily high. And then woven through all of this is something much more personal: grief. Last Sunday, Reverend Jay acknowledged 3 recent deaths within our congregation here. 3 beloved individuals whose lives touch many of ours and whose absence leaves an empty chair. And I know that many of you have experienced losses of your own this year and in recent years that are still very much with you. Losses of loved ones, losses of health, losses of homes, losses of beloved pet companions even. Grief has its own clock, its own rhythm, and it pays no attention at all to the calendar telling us it's now time to be merry and bright. Grief in December carries a special burden: the music, the memories, the rituals, everything seems to hold 1,000 echoes. For those carrying sorrow, the holidays can feel like something to endure rather than something to celebrate. And even if we ourselves are not grieving, we carry some of the enormous grief of families torn apart, the grief of violence and displacement, the grief of communities still rebuilding after storms of last year and the years before that, the grief of a political landscape that is so often cruel, chaotic, and indifferent to the suffering of the victims it has singled out as targets, but also to all of us dealing with the fallout of policies that burden us all. With all of this personal, political, and practical heaviness, it's no wonder many of us don't really feel ready for the holiday spirit, right? For many, December is difficult any year, but this year, as we come to the end of the first year of the second Trump administration, it feels especially so. We arrive in this season already exhausted, already stretched, already asking, how much more can we hold? And it is here that the reading from Reverend Frances Manley speaks to us. This is the time of waiting, she writes. This is the time of darkness. This is the time of coming to birth. And she asks, what do you long for, O my soul? And she answers, nothing the eye can see, nothing the hand can touch, nothing the ears can hear. No answers given here, right? But she gives us hints. She speaks of turning inward, of preparing our hearts. In the Christian liturgical calendar, Advent is indeed the season of waiting in the dark, trusting that light is being born even when we can't yet see it. But this reading reaches beyond Christianity to the universal human experience of longing, the universal human experience reflected in all of those traditions that I mentioned earlier. The human experience of longing for peace, for relief, for clarity, for courage, and most of all, for hope. It speaks to the ancient truth that something in us is always seeking, always turning toward the future, even when the present seems so out of control and frightening. So how do we live into this longing? How do we find emotional and spiritual well-being in a season and a world where so much feels unsettled? I think we need to start by simply acknowledging the way things are and not denying the stress or pretending everything is fine. Everything is not fine, even if we pretty much are in our daily, day-to-day lives. We know that not everything is fine. Spiritual well-being is not denying these facts and feelings, but recognizing and making peace with the truth that they are a part of the human journey. We can take small, purposeful actions. Remember Dana Milback's article about the research study showing that doing something purposeful, especially something that serves others, increases well-being. Small acts undertaken with intention can be just transformative. Purpose grounds us. It reminds us that we are not powerless. It pulls us out of despair and into connection. We each have our own purpose. What purposeful actions can you take during this holiday season? We can seek stillness. We can seek stillness, find stillness, hold stillness, and let stillness carry us. This is not an invitation to withdraw from the world, but to anchor ourselves within it in a peaceful way. Richard Gilbert, in that earlier reading, said, catch your breath, relax your body, loosen your grip on life. Sage advice, but how? 5 quiet minutes of breathing, a walk at dusk, a candle lit with intention, a whispered prayer, a moment before bed to unclench the jaw and soften the shoulders. Stillness does not erase the chaos around us, but it reshapes how we move through it. My colleague, Kat Liu, writes using the metaphor of driving on the interstate with her instructor for the first time in an article entitled Shifting Perspective. She writes about, quote, crawling along the I-90 at about 40 miles per hour, annoying everyone behind us. I was able to stay in my lane only with extreme concentration and constant correction. Sensing that I was drifting too far to the right, I turned the wheel leftward, and the car would drift too far to the left, forcing me to turn the wheel to the right again and drift too far to the right again, and so on. It probably only lasted a minute or two at most, but felt like an eternity. Then my instructor said, look up, look further into the distance. Right now you're focusing only what's 20 feet in front of you and overcorrecting. Look up, look further out, trust me. And that's the end of the quote, trust me. Now that so struck a chord with me. Do you remember learning to drive and doing that? Initially just looking right there and not being able to stay really straight in your lane? I remember doing that. And then how miraculous it seemed when you finally understood and were able to take the longer view and look out further, and how smoothly the car stayed in its lane. Kat Liu concludes, broaden your focus. Oftentimes I find myself focusing on the things immediately in front of me, and as a result they may seem larger and more important than they actually are. When I remember to orient myself with the bigger picture, it recalibrates my perspective. I can better judge how important a problem is, or isn't. And even if it is a big problem, I can better understand how to respond to it, and also remember the reasons I still have to be happy. May we always keep in mind the bigger picture. May we always remember who we are, from where we've come, and where we want to go as we respond to life's challenges. May it be so. Please rise now and join me in the closing hymn, number 226, People Look East. It will be on the screen. This morning are from Anne Frank. I can feel the suffering of millions, and yet, if I look up into the heavens, I think that it will all come out right, that this cruelty too will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again. In the meantime, I must uphold my ideals, for perhaps the time will come when I shall be able to carry them out. As we know, Anne Frank didn't live to carry out her ideals, but we are among the countless ones who for generations have tried to vanquish the cruelty of the world. May we keep on trying. Please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice.
We extinguish the chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we
thank you for being here this morning. Welcome to the Advent season, the time of waiting, and enjoy your days in this holiday time. Go in peace.